G'day.
How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just going over. I've got one, two, three. I've got about 6 pages of ginger jokes to get through, so I'm gonna
Oh,
just yeah.
that's pretty
We'll,
standard.
we'll have to work through it, but it's all good. Whereabouts are you, mate?
I'm in Melbourne,
Mm-hmm.
sort of just a bit out in the suburbs, place called Diamond Creek.
Hmm. Nice. I'm in Brisbane. Um, that is some groovy soundproofing you've got behind you. Is that a window or?
No, that's just a wall. I have a window to this side of me and another wall there, but it's a small little office space that I'm using. Nothing too special. I've sort of put up some like bass traps in the corners, which you can't see.
Mhm. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, does what I need.
Yeah, mate. First of all, look, what can you tell me about this masterclass? What kind of thing will you be teaching?
So it's really going to hone in on songwriting. It's really based around songwriting, and I've learned a lot over like it's got to be 15 plus years of doing it, and I've sort of written down little things that I've learned along the way, and I've sort of made myself a document that sort of goes in pretty deep about all these little techniques and just little things I've learned over time that I've never really seen other people talk about. And I have done sort of variations of what I'm going to do at shows in the past. And that was great. It was just a really good, it felt like got a really good response from people. And I thought this could be something I can do in between shows. And I want to up it a little bit by actually bringing my computer rig and how I literally, my with my my DAW and plugins and all that sort of stuff, and sit there in the room with people and go through the process literally in real time and explain what I'm doing and why, and and sort of get into the weeds of it and how I'm expanding on ideas and therefore helping to start a song, and get a song going.
Nice. I found myself like with listening to instrumental music that there's you aren't by not having a vocalist, you aren't limited by needing to go and stick to any kind of verse, chorus, verse, anything. You can really do whatever you want. I imagine you find that quite freeing.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I'm living the dream now. I've got like two projects that cover both, so it's really cool. But I do love the challenge of trying to make a piece of music that would keep a listener interested despite not having vocals. Typically you're used to hearing that. So that's a fun little challenge I do really enjoy. Like, how can I make something that's going to keep someone's attention uh, where there's a big gap missing in terms of like a vocalist and stuff leading the way. And it does give you lots of room to explore different things, like different form, like you said. I experiment with things like making the form not repeat. So each section that you only hear it once, and then we move on. So it's like this massive journey thing, and it can really go in weird places, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun with it.
I found it. I imagine you would have called animals as leaders when they were touring.
Yep, I've seen them a bunch of times. Yeah.
I I found myself quite amused by the fact that the audience was drunkenly singing the guitar lead for physical education. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's you've got something catchy if that's happening for sure. Yeah.
That was new. Mate, I Built the Sky recently released an interactive t-shirt. How does it work, and who still uses a laptop for porn?
Hey, you! Yes, you! Are you tired of boring band merch? Well, we've got something guaranteed to blow your friends! Oh, hey! Introducing the I Built the Sky Wormhole Traveler interactive t-shirt! that special someone at your next social gathering. Just open the app, point it at the shirt, and watch the visuals and sound come to life. A t-shirt so outrageous you'll be the envy of all your friends. Makes chores around the house that much more exciting. Don't miss out on this one-of-a-kind piece. Order yours today. Just visit www.ibuiltthesky.com. If you get caught out, at least you'll look good. You won't take yours off either. Order yours today. Now that's a cool t-shirt.
I love it. I love it.
I'll have to cut the video in there so it makes sense. You'll have to send it to me.
I mean, it's just visually looks a bit more funny when you're closing your laptop quickly, I think. That was sort of the thinking behind that. Just trying to make it as funny as possible. I've been working with Nate Hill, who's local to my area in Melbourne. And he's just an amazing, just creative guy and in all types of stuff. And he's done some incredible stuff. He's working for, he's done posters for Korn and all this. So he's really he's really clever. And his designs he's hooked me in from all his work. And I'm, obviously a fan of what he does. And, we've got a bit of a relationship over the years. He sort of digs what I do and, vice versa. And he came to me with an idea of making an interactive sort of t-shirt. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know that was a thing you could do. And I was really excited by it. So we thought we'd give it a shot and see how we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
What plans does I Build the Sky have to make new music? Like, how indicative is Fleeting Moments to what might be to come?
I'd say that's a bit of a red herring, that one. Like, what I'm trying to do is I've got a fairly clear vision of what I'm doing, and I love to dabble on the side of that too, like with collaborations and stuff. So that was just a fun one that we managed to get happening, and I'm stoked with the results. I think it came out really, really well, and we will probably collaborate in the future too. So I love to do little collaborations alongside of what I'm doing with the bulk of my project, I guess. So I'd say that's a red herring. You're not going to hear that kind of sound from what I'm doing. Yeah.
There's a joke there with red herring.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be.
You're making it too easy for me, mate. I don't even need these.
Oh, man.
Mate, now look, you work with I Built the Sky. You're clearly quite a remarkable guitarist for a ginger. How much of the music is, be honest, how much of it is musical vision, and how much is it just you maybe showing off a bit?
Great question.
You thought this was going to be a serious interview, didn't you?
No, I like it. So I personally really feel strongly about the song is the priority. So I'm trying to make crazy guitar stuff and crazy whatever, that's kind of just part of the style I'm playing around in, and I think it's suitable for instrumental music too. You've got to hook them in somehow, So, but it's always secondary to the song. I am not opposed to writing a very simple song. And proof of that is in my last album called The Quiet Place Away, which is an acoustic album. And you're not really going to hear sweeping, tapping solos in that album. But, I think it works really well when it suits the song, and it doesn't snap you out of enjoying a song. I find that there's some guitarists can get trapped in that headspace where they're writing to showcase this cool new trick they've got, and you can sort of tell, the song doesn't seem to grow and build enough to really feel like a song to me. It just sort of feels like a showcasing of a new technique or something. So I do really try hard to make it appropriate for the song, and that the song is the focus. And if there is some sort of really cool thing that doesn't fit the song, I will have no qualms in taking that out,
Nice.
So yeah.
Now, this is interesting because you happen to join one of my favorite Australian bands. I have been an enormous Sunk Loto fan since I first heard Society Anxiety when I would have been, Christ, 15. Like this is going back a ways now. How did this come about? Who approached who?
That's another good question. Well, me and Jace actually were thinking about collaborating pre all of this going on. And I'm a massive Sunk fan myself. I've followed them since I found them. Like, I think the first Sunk song I ever heard was Sunken Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since that, I was hooked for sure. And yeah, when I just Jace released some solo stuff, and I was just following like I do when I find artists that I like and on socials and stuff, and just thought, why not reach out and just chat casually here and there. And yeah, and I got hit up when there was some potential issues going on, and yeah, and then just sort of started learning the songs, and just, we had a bit of a jam to see if it could potentially work. And then I sort of cheekily said, look, if you need a guitarist, like, fuck, I would love to do it. Like, I'll do it totally. And they took me up on that offer.
Yeah. I got to see you in Brisbane, and the show. You sounded fantastic, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
What was the, I guess, what was that experience like?
It's so surreal, honestly. Because I'm such a fan of Sunk and all the material that they've put out in the past, and I think when they did Between Birth and Death, that was like a milestone. Like at the time I heard it back then, I was super young, but it really like just shocked me. Like, holy shit! Like this is new territory for like heavy metal sort of stuff, and that like that drove me to like try and improve my playing and all that sort of things. I was in my own original bands forever, since high school and stuff. So then getting the opportunity to learn that album, I already knew the songs so incredibly well because I was obsessed with the album. So I've listened to it a zillion times, and so that was a good help. I know the structures and what the sound that I'm going for. And then I actually got given stems and stuff like that, so I could really dig in and just double check notes and stuff like that. And I just got to work, just going through everything, playing it, trying to, first getting comfortable, sitting down, playing along, figuring out riffs and whatnot, and then trying to stand up and play. It's like a whole new curveball when you get into that sort of well. And then you're trying to stand up and play and sort of put on a bit more of a show. So it was a bit of a process, but felt really confident. By the time we came to the shows, I felt like fairly confident. We'd all done the work, all our pre-production rehearsals and stuff that we did, and we were using in-ear monitoring, and so we had our own mixes we could really dial in to help us, perform the best that we could. So yeah, when it came to the shows, it was, I think the very first show I was like super, super nervous, because I had like three guys who were like, all right, let's see this guy. Let's, it's all, rehearsals are all good and well, but like what's going to happen at the show? That's the thing, So I did relatively well. I was super nervous, so I wasn't like doing guitar spins or anything, but we got through it. Yeah. We got through it pretty well. I felt pretty good. The guys felt good. And then from there, getting the first show done was like, all right, sweet. And then from there, I felt like things were more comfortable and I was more confident on stage. And by Brisbane, I think Brisbane were really hitting our peak. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel I remember remarking to Jason about this. Like, can you imagine being their poor record label? They're just, big picture lies, pretty straight down the middle new metal album. And it's like, oh, yep, cool. So, yep, I've gone to New York. Yeah, they're going to record a new album, and then they're just getting it and be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But that's the thing, like, I really admire about them. Like, because I've asked them about it, like, what was going on then, like, how was the feeling? Because you guys were switching it up a fair bit, and I'm so glad that they stuck their heels in, like, nah, we want to create what we want to create, and having that pressure, especially of a major label on you, I can't imagine that pressure. But they stuck with their gut, and like, I think to the Sunk fans and people like me, we're so glad that they did, and they came out with that, because I still think that that's a real special moment in time worldwide. That album, 2003, we're talking. This is pre, like, Periphery and all that.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm stoked that they stuck their heels in and were stubborn enough to not give in to any external pressures, because at the end of the day, that's the thing, and they're still here now. Songs are still absolute bangers, and people showing up in droves for shows. So I think they made the right choice, personally.
And mate, your first, contribution that we heard was the Gallows Weight, and it's an absolute monster. What can you tell me about the new Sunk album?
Well, we're right in the weeds of it now, really. So we're about to record a batch of 4 songs. So, and we're going to do another batch following, but we're just going to stay to doing, like, batches of 4 sort of thing. And the demos we're all really happy with the demos. So everyone's excited to get in the studio and get it tracked and get it down. So it's going along. I know it's taking a bit of time, but it will be worth it, we promise.
Was the Gallows Weight kind of indicative of that kind of tone and songwriting approach?
A little bit. Yeah, there's going to be different flavors, I think. But it's hard to explain, but there's going to be different flavors, and I think it will create a nice journey as a whole. But we do plan to release songs along the way too. So with the second song, God Complex, which is actually accessible on our Patreon, we just launched. But that's quite along the same lines as the Gallows Weight, I suppose, but it's a little bit more chaotic. But there's a few different flavors on the next group of songs, at least. And I guess expect some diversity, but or in the best of way.
Nice. All right. Now, lastly, mate, in a kind of the devil came down to Georgia situation, which song would you play to save your soul? Implying, of course, that Ginger's. No, you know what? Never mind.
Wait. To save my soul, I have to play a song.
Yes.
Like, so something easy, or?
Well, I don't know. What's a song that you would absolutely smoke the devil with?
Oh, I mean, that's such a crazy question. I mean, it's got to be one of my own, right?
Yeah.
I reckon Up Into the Ether.
Mm-hmm.
I'd slay it.
You'd sizzle it? Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Right, this has been fun, man. Thank you very much for your time. It was lovely to finally meet you. And
Thanks, Tom.
yeah, man. All good.
Appreciate it, man. If you're listening and it's not past the 10th or 11th of August, definitely come hang out and we'll talk about songwriting for a day or two.